Renton Honda Automobiles is having a silent sale.
Silent sale?
Where the lowest price is clearly posted on every vehicle's window.
The price is on the window.
Based on dealer original cost, no negotiating, no selling.
No negotiating or selling.
More Hondas, less money. Renton Honda Automobiles Thanksgiving Day silent sale. It's that simple.
Renton Honda Automobiles Thanksgiving silent sale has been extended through Sunday the 25th.
This was not the greatest day to go shopping, yet this night after Thanksgiving is traditionally one of the busiest shopping nights of the year. Retailers bet the farm on Christmas shoppers. Much of the year's profits come in the next 4 weeks. But all the indications are you are very nervous. Recession and uncertainty in the air. Hopeful is the best you'll get from the big retailers who will lure you in with the kind of sales before Christmas you're used to seeing after. Here's reporter Bob Branham.
Power outages may have struck other parts of the region, but today's nasty weather didn't stop the annual lighting of the downtown Seattle Christmas tree or prevent die-hard shoppers from picking their way through post-Thanksgiving sales. But as the night wore on, the shoppers wore out, and by 8 o'clock it seemed deader than Scrooge's doornail. The shopping on this day after Thanksgiving mirrored merchants' projections about the season as a whole. It may be great, or it may be greatly disappointing. Wayne Cody at Fredericks expected great things this year before all this talk about an economic recession.
We had a healthy increase planned, and everything you read in the paper and you hear on TV and everything like that, we wonder how much everybody's going to follow that, and so we're kind of cautious right now, but we're optimistic, and we still plan on having a great Christmas season.
Others agree, saying the Northwest should dodge the worst of the recession bullet thanks to local economic giants like Boeing and Microsoft.
So we're riding that wave as a springboard into the season, and I think that that's going to make a big difference.
One thing worrying merchants here is that talk of a recession elsewhere may turn into a self-fulfilling prophecy here, and people won't feel like buying as much. Still, for the time being at least, downtown merchants say they're bullish on Christmas. In Seattle, Bob Branham, KIRO News.
And amid all the shoppers today, cautious or otherwise, the protesters, the anti-fur demonstrators, encourage shoppers to buy something else, almost anything else, but fur. About 300 animal rights activists marched through downtown this afternoon, handing out leaflets calling for a fur-free tomorrow. The protest was organized by the Progressive Animal Welfare Society. Paused to thank Nordstrom for closing its fur salon and spent time trying to persuade other department stores to do the same. Coming up still tonight, Harry's here with the weekend weather forecast. Couldn't possibly be wetter than today. Plus the outlook for new car ferry service to Victoria, all when we come back.
If you're about to make a deal on a new car or truck, stop! Announcing a giant 3-day disposal on over 800 cars and trucks that sound Ford. Like 1991 Escort's disposal price at just $62.51. $62.51. Plus, get half payments for 1 full year. That means just $80 a month. $80, zero down. 1991 Taurus is $164 a month, zero down. Even Aerostar, $145 a month, $145, still zero down. Don't miss this giant disposal till Monday only at Sound Ford in Renton with service loaners for life.
With the Goodwill Games over, it's good to remember that world-class health care didn't end with the games, and that the medical services manager for this year's games will still be here, keeping Northwest families strong and healthy for competitions yet to come. Group Health. Join us.
If you're an average person, you'll spend a third of your life in bed and about half your waking life at work. Now, considering all the time you have left, how much of it do you want to spend paying your bills? If you had Pay by Phone from Washington Mutual, you could pay your bills in no time by phone. And every month, a simple statement sums it all up. Ask about Pay by Phone, another lifesaver from Washington Mutual, a friend of the family.
You want the best. You never settle for less. Yeah, you want the best. And we've got it right here in the great Northwest.
The 91 Toyotas are here, including the all-new Tercel, the gas mileage leader of the #1 import in the Northwest.
Yeah, you want the best. And we've got it right here in the great Northwest.
See the new 91s at your Western Washington Toyota dealer today.
Now at RB for a limited time, not 18, not 12, not even 2.9, but 0.0% interest for 12 months. The best prices on quality furniture, RB.
The bodies of a Seattle couple who died in a plane crash in a remote part of Thailand are now on their way home. Edward Lincoln and his wife Kathleen were among the 33 passengers on board a Bangkok Airways flight that crashed on Wednesday. The de Havilland Dash 8 was preparing to land when it went down in heavy rains. No one survived. The Lincolns had just completed a mountain trek in Thailand, had planned to relax on a Thai resort island before coming home to Seattle. The bankrupt BC Stena Line says it will give bidders with a plan to resume Seattle to Victoria ferry service next summer the highest priority at sale. The company stopped its service a week ago tonight after losing millions of dollars over the past several years. Stena's president says there have been a number of inquiries since the ferry line went up for sale. Stena says a quick sale would be good for a buyer, giving the buyer more time to prepare for next season, presumably profitably. The group of homeless people braving the rain and the cold for the third night tonight, trying to prove a point in the city of Seattle. The group is living in a tent city in the empty lot across from the Kingdome where the new Seattle Arena will be built, which is what I think they're calling it. 27 people spent the night in tents last night trying to prove the city needs to do more for its poorest citizens. Turn to Harry. You were mentioning to me earlier, and you may have mentioned it a little bit earlier tonight, there's been a lot of rain since late this afternoon.
There has been. Olympia with 1.5 inches and a similar amount out at Hoquiam on the coast. And in the Cascades from Snoqualmie Pass northward, amounts have been as high as nearly 2 inches and nearly 1 inch in 2 hours. That's a lot of rain. But fortunately, we're coming out of it. Let's check SeaTac's observation. And right now, they're showing a temperature of 53 degrees with rain. It's lighter rain than it has been. Humidity is high at 96%, and though the wind is still strong, it is not as strong as it was. Steady speeds from the south to 17, with gusts to 28 miles per hour. The barometer is still falling to 9.74. We have a little recovery yet to do. Now, let's check the almanac, because this is kind of interesting. The high was 54, the low 51, nothing too exciting there, but the record low is 10 from 1985. Remember, that was the week Thanksgiving fell, and we had snow and cold, and that was the snowiest month of November ever, 1985. The rain gauge today, with the last 6 hours counted, shows about 0.75 of an inch of rain and 7.11 inches for the month. This is a wet November. The normal for the whole month would be 5.6. That's as of November 30th. So we're ahead of average for the entire month. And the year-to-date is so far ahead now, it's almost 7 inches over the average. That's a huge number. This is where I left you earlier with a satellite photograph showing the low-pressure center moving inland into British Columbia. As it moves inland, it'll cause gusty winds and is causing gusty winds in eastern Washington, but it'll reduce the wind speeds in western Washington here, and they are indeed doing that and will do so more overnight. And you see the rain band out off the coast here has thinned out a good deal, too. So things should be gradually improving, though we're hardly coming into, sunny weather here. But nonetheless, this is our picture over the last 24 hours showing this long fetch of tropical moisture arcing over the area and aimed just about on target for the Cascades, for the Seattle area, the whole interior of western Washington. But now we're seeing an upper-level low digging down out of the Gulf of Alaska to cut that rain train flow off, and that means we'll start drying out and cooling down over the next couple of days. In the mountains, the rain will be turning to snow on Saturday, and it may be heavy at times toward the end of the day and colder, with the snow level dropping to 3,000 feet Saturday night and possibly even lower Sunday night. And for the waters of western Washington tomorrow, starting out with small craft advisories everywhere, but these winds will be diminishing during the day. Here's our forecast. Tonight, you can expect the rain and wind to be gradually decreasing, though not again eliminated. The lows 40 to 45 and south winds 15 to 30 miles an hour. For tomorrow, showers and cooler, the highs 45 to 50, the winds west 10 to 20. The 5-day forecast will be probably pretty cool on Sunday and Monday and a kind of a mini cold snap, and then coming back to recovery with periods of rain Monday through Wednesday. So this is indeed an unusually crummy day even for November, which is now one of our sunnier, better months.
Yeah, it's crummy, a scientific term.
Yeah, I didn't mean to introduce that. I should explain that. That means, well, you explain it yourself. Everybody knows.
It means crummy.
Means crummy.
Thank you. Turn to Wayne.
What happened? What? What happened?
Did you ever
what
try?
Happened to you?
Have you ever tried to cover high school football in Tacoma on a windy, rainy, wet, awful night?
The football games were inside tonight.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll have football highlights wherever they were and talk about the Sonics and all sports when we come back.
Mitsubishi has won more major awards in the past 2 years than most car makers could hope for in a lifetime.
You could save up to $1,000 at your Puget Sound Mitsubishi Motors dealer now.
The day can be hard and cool on your feet, so at night, treat them to Totes Toasty Stretch Slippers, and you'll notice a dramatic change. Unlike other stretch slippers, Toasties are made with special pillowy soles, plenty of room for your toes, and soft, breathable cotton to make your feet feel warm, welcome, and happy to be home. Toasties Stretch Slippers from Totes.
If you're shopping for outstanding furniture bargains, don't miss Levitt's Christmas kickoff sale. For example, this contemporary sofa would be a bargain anywhere at $699.99. But at Levitt's, you not only get the sofa, but also the matching love seat. Both pieces for only $699.99. Hey, I told you the bargains were outstanding. Special hours now through Christmas. Saturday 10 to 9, Sunday 11 to 6.
You'll love it at Levitt's.
Mike Mogulgard watches for news that happened overnight. Artist Carter knows that she can depend on the latest traffic conditions every 7 minutes. Dean Haltoner and his crew rely on accurate weather forecasts. And at the Abbotts, 9-year-old Jessica has her own reason.
And it's school lunch menu time. And in Seattle, public schools serving up Stromboli with
news, weather, traffic, or whatever your reason. KIRO First in the Morning News on Channel 7.
Well, fortunately, our crack staff of makeup people have managed to reassemble the big guy.
Gee, Willikers, I thought those games were outdoor games.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
wow, son of a
Now,
gun.
you know what happened in Utah tonight? Ooh, this has not been, folks, come on, a good week for the Sonics. First, the X-Man and Dale Ellis went at it. That left the team in a bit of a daze. Then tonight, the Utah Jazz applied the final punch. They knocked out the Soups in Salt Lake 97-96. It was showtime at the Salt Palace. Sean Kemp made a couple of amazing dunks. First, a two-fisted jam. How about a nice little reverser? Up and over and in. But Utah would have some highlights of their own. Thurl Bailey driving baseline. Karl Malone with the rebound and 2. But this was the pretty play of the night. Watch Payton with a miss. Edwards with the rebound. Stockton saves the pass. Gets it back. Dishes to Bailey for a little in-your-face dunk. Ooh, that's good. Second half, Utah led all the way, but Sedale Threet would cut the Jazz lead to 1 with a little tray. But with time running out, it went to the X-Man, and he unfortunately missed a fall-away jumper. No good. And Utah wins it. Carl the Mailman Malone sure did deliver tonight. 30 points. X leads all Sonic scores with 33. The Soups now 4-5. Now to the upset of all upsets. No, not the Gorilla. The New Jersey Nets. After losing 34 straight away from the Meadowlands, Mookie Blaylock's baseline jumper gives the Nets a 2-point win over the Phoenix Suns. My. Elsewhere around the league, Chicago and Boston, they come away with wins. Miami over Charlotte. Indiana wins. Philly and Detroit both win at home. San Antonio spurs Dallas, and Portland goes 10-0 on the season, thrashing Golden State. College basketball in the finals of the Big Apple NIT tournament. Arkansas and Arizona, 2 of the best. Look good for the Razorbacks early. Kenny Mayberry with a floating shot in the paint. The Hogs by 8 at the half. But the Wildcats would roar back. Chris Mills is going to drive the baseline, misses. Brian Williams thunders home the rebound. Mills would miss again. The long-distance tray, and it helps Arizona to a 12-point win, 89-77. Well, a big night for prep football at the Tacoma Dome, thank you very much, where 3 semifinal games were played to determine half the brackets for next weekend's King Bowl. Let's go to the Class A game. Eatonville behind the arm of quarterback Eric Snyder. He was able to hang on, and they beat North Mason in a brilliant game with a field goal at the wire, 17-14. Tumwater led 21-zip over Bremen at the half. They end up winning that one 41-12 was the official final. And in a Triple-A play game, Newport beats Franklin. Both were undefeated going into that one. That one 41-12. Leave the Tumwater Bremerton score at 41-20. And stay tuned, because immediately following the newscast in the Prep Locker Room show, we'll have highlights of all 3 games played, and we'll talk about interviews and talk about the King Bowl coming up next Saturday, of course, in the King Dome. What else in the world of sports tonight? College football this afternoon, a classic rivalry, Nebraska-Oklahoma, except today It was a classic blowout. Unranked Sooners ineligible for postseason play. They were led by running back Mike McKinley. He scored 3 touchdowns as the Cornhuskers turned the ball over 7 times. Oklahoma wins it 45-10. Now to soccer, where the PLU women were playing at Erskine College in Due West, South Carolina. It was the NAIA National Championship. Their opponents, Berry College from Georgia, tied at 1. PLU's goalie, Kate Wheeler, made a great save, but then Tina Conway kicked it in. 2 minutes later, Nikki Courtney ices the win, all in overtime. A strong kick to the upper right-hand corner of the net. 3-1 the final. PLU Sherry Ryder was named the tournament's most valuable player. Congratulations. For your information, the Seattle Thunderbirds down Victoria's Chiefs tonight, 6-1 in Victoria. The Washington women's basketball team started their season 99-91. They beat the Wisconsin Badgers in Colorado's tournament this afternoon. The Vancouver Canucks were in Minnesota. They lost to the North Stars. That final was 6-4. And the 21st running of the Seattle Marathon, that will be coming up tomorrow. Finally tonight, the Seattle sports scene lost a beloved man last night with the death of Torchy Torrance at age 91. Out of Lewis and Clark High School and into the University of Washington in 1917, Torchy was part of the Washington sports scene for all of his adult life. He was part of the fundraising group who helped build the 30,000-seat Husky Stadium in 1920. He worked with Tubby Graves and Heck Edmond at the UW, and he was part of the team that built Longacres in 32 and Sick Stadium in 38. He simply loved sports, and sports in the Northwest will miss one of the grandest guys of all time, Torchy Torrance.
He was that, too, wasn't he? He was a terrific man.
Yeah, really nice man.
With 91 good years.
Yeah,
Bless
let's
him.
hope.
Yeah.
For you and I, right?
Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Still to come tonight. We'll wrap this up. We have some new flood information. We're going to try and get in tonight. We'll take you to an auction, too. All that when we come back.
The color of your new car or truck is important. You really want turkey tan? Or a lemon yellow? Or a dog white? Why not own a cherry red car from Titus Will Ford Toyota Hyundai Datsun? Now, through November, all cars and trucks, new and used, are on sale at cheap, low prices. Don't miss this colorful sale at Titus Will Ford Toyota Hyundai Datsun in Tacoma. Ends November 30th.
When you want just the right mix on your radio, listen to the new Mix 101 FM and get away from the stations that are just too soft and some that are maybe a little too hard. Right in the middle of your dial is the new Mix 101 FM, playing Seattle's best variety of music from yesterday and today. Artists like Phil Collins, the Eagles, Chicago, and Gloria Estefan. The new Mix 101. Tune in and see if you don't agree. It's the best mix of music on the dial. The new Mix 101.
At Channel 7, 24-hour news means more than hourly updates around the clock.
It's KIRO First in the Morning News.
KIRO News at noon. It's KIRO News at 5 and 6:30.
And KIRO News at 11 o'clock.
It's the region's most experienced news team, giving you the news you need when you need it. No other station brings you more news than Channel 7, your 24-hour news source.
Catherine Dalrymple talks about a special relationship.
It was my husband's idea. He wanted us to go with someone we could trust, someone who would answer our questions without trying to talk down to us. We were buying our first brand new car, and when we went into Rude Nissan Volvo, I knew we were onto something special. This is our second Nissan. I've been so satisfied with Rude. It wasn't like buying a new car. It was like making a new friend.
Good cars, good people, good service. Rude Nissan Volvo, 21,000 Highway 99 Linwood.
We just got the latest on the situation on Western Washington rivers in terms of the flooding, and we want to briefly run them down. First of all, the flood alert has come off the Elwha River. That's the only good news in this. The Nooksack expected to crest 3 feet above flood stage tomorrow morning. The Skykomish at Gold Bar, 5 feet above flood stage by 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. The Snoqualmie at Carnation, 4 feet above flood stage by early afternoon tomorrow. In all cases, rivers in Western Washington are going to be running very, very high tomorrow, and that's trouble. Coming up on Monday on KIRO News at 5, a KIRO News close-up. Are you safe walking the streets of the Pike Place Market? Gangs and drug dealers have moved downtown. The people who live around the market won't go out at night.
And if you don't know what's going on, you could be a victim.
KIRO News close-up, 24 hours downtown, starts Monday. at 5 o'clock. And finally, for this program at the Four Seasons Hotel in downtown Seattle tonight, it was a night of giving. That's Dick Friel, who is the auctioneer for tonight's event to raise money for Northwest Medical Care. And just, why, there's the boss of all bosses, Ken Hatch. That's our boss.
Right.
Now, how did he get in that shot? And he knows I'm talking about him. That's why he was laughing. Anyway, they were down there to raise money for the Ronald McDonald House, and it was a nice idea, and they raised some money, and we're proud of them all, aren't we? You betcha we are. We'd say that even if the boss wasn't there.
And our own Ron Taylor in the pictures.
That's right. Ron was there, the king of the late-night cut-in. Have a nice weekend.
Thanks, Aaron.
Have a nice weekend.
Also.
And have a nice weekend. We'll see you all on Monday. Good night for all of us.